Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Ever since the Anzac Day services in Melbourne and Perth, whereby people were booing the welcome to country, it's brought out a lot of interesting characters over on X and over on TikTok, with one particular Aboriginal man going viral on X, especially for saying that he wants to deport European Australians. He wants to deport white people from Australia. Does that include Indians? Does that include Muslims or Arabs? Does that include every other culture in Australia? Let's deport all European Australians, the white man only. Sure. Okay. You're going with that kind of logic, which to me just seems incredibly racist. So let's just have well, all Indigenous Australia. Let's go back to the way it was before the Europeans came over. Let's go back to how it was before, with Indigenous infighting, with disease, with all kinds of things. That's not to detract or take away from their culture at all. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but before the Europeans came along, sure, the Europeans did some horrible things, the Indigenous Australians. I'm not taking away from that at all, but also the Indigenous individuals did some horrible things to each other. If we're not going to tell history for how it is, and we're going to have this revisionist sort of take and make one side out to be like the bad person and one side out to be the good people, it's quite interesting to me how you're not telling both sides. Sure, the Europeans did some horrible things, but they also did some great things, and we wouldn't have the Australia that we've got if the Europeans didn't do what they did, right? And then also they helped a lot of Indigenous Australians that were sick. So, yes, they also brought diseases over, true. But the thing is, time happened, industry happened, loads of things happened. They got smarter. You can't have like what we have today and be ungrateful and say, oh, I wish I never had that before. So let's deport every single European Australian out there. Like, that is, to me, crazy. That is racist. Anyway, have a watch of what this Aboriginal man has to say about white people in Australia.
Yama. As a First Nations person, I am calling for the deportation of European Australians for not conforming to the cultural and the traditional norms upon First Nations lands. And I'm going to say it again. I call for the deportation or the repatriation of European Australians to England for the non-conforming to the cultural and the traditional norms upon this First Nations lands. Yalu.
Yama. Yalu. Wanya. Wanya, mate. Yeah. Wanya means apparently welcome, believe it or not. So he wants to deport all European Australians, me, because I'm a white man, all white Australians back to England, because that's where every single European white Australian supposedly came from. He wants to deport them all back because we haven't really immigrated, or as he calls it, we haven't conformed to the cultural and the traditional norms. All right, let's go back to wearing what the Indigenous people wore. Let's go back to doing all the things that the Indigenous people did before the Europeans came here and changed a few things. You want to go back to the complete and utter norms of the First Nations people and lands? Okay, let's definitely go with that kind of logic and see where it takes us as a nation. But mate, I hate to break it to you, that is dingbat logic. It makes no sense. You're the one that doesn't want to conform to being an actual Australian, to modern day Australia. You're so hell-bent on being racist to your fellow Australians just because they're a little bit different to you. And I'll have you know, every single Australian, a vast majority of Australians, I should say, actually have a appreciation and a respect for Aboriginal people, their culture, and their heritage. Why is it that we give you guys so much money? We give you guys so much money We pay for everything. We pay for your education. We pay for your healthcare. We pay for all this sort of stuff that you so take for granted. You get free housing because of us. So, yeah, let's send all of the white men back to England whence they came, because we're not good enough to live in your supposed First Nations country. Kind of sounds like, okay, we were here first. This is our land. We own it. No one owns Australia. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you. So they're claiming this, oh, we were here first. We take it first. No, that's not how things work, mate. But anyway, they want to be given everything under the sun and not actually go, let's be all Australians here. Let's just keep dividing Australia more and more. Why not? The opinionated black woman, who I actually really like over on X, goes, this is Bruce. Bruce is a C word. Don't be like Bruce. Yeah, don't be like Bruce. Okay? Don't be like this dingbat, because this dingbat has got no idea what the hell he's talking about. And loads of other people that I was seeing share this video around were going, how is this not racism? Why aren't the politicians condemning this? Why aren't they calling that out? Oh, but no, they'll definitely go after booing at an Anzac Day service for a welcome to country that shouldn't actually be an Anzac Day service. Like, let's condemn that. But we won't condemn an Aboriginal woman, because that would look very bad on our political resume. The media would have a field day with it. I swear, Australia is becoming just really soft, first and foremost. The ones that actually know what they're talking about, they obviously get silenced a lot. But you have this oppressed class, the victimhood class, and they get propped up quite considerably. It's not like they haven't been given everything. They have been. They've been given an incredible opportunity, a vast majority of them, and they squander it. And this man is just going, oh, the solution to all that is deport all the white Europeans back to whence they came, back to England, man. Do it. For not conforming to First Nations cultures and traditions, mate. The lands, like, it gives me a headache. It really does. Like, trying to explain it, all this kind of stuff. Where has the common sense gone? Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.